The basis for the course is this well-known model that depicts predictors for a sustainable working life, the Swage Model. The Swage Model is used at various workplaces and by managers in Sweden as a tool and a checklist in the systematic work environment management in the workplace. The Swage Model is used in occupational healthcare by labor unions and health and safety representatives, as well as by authorities as a basis for discussion and reflection on how to make working life sustainable for different professions and different ages. Every work environment inspector of the Swedish Work Environment Authority has received a web-based education and lectures on how to use the model in their inspection and informative work at workplaces to employees in Sweden. The model is also part of a publication ordered by the European Work Environment Agency on how to create sustainable workplaces for men and women, which has been published in all countries of the European Union. The Swage Model is also part of the basis for the Swedish government's delegation for senior labour, led by Anna Hedborg. For those of you that have missed the Swage Model, this lecture will explain the parts of the model and their uses. The basis for the intervention project is this well-known model that depicts predictors for a sustainable working life, the Swage Model. The Swage Model is used at various workplaces and by managers in Sweden as a tool and a checklist in the systematic work environment management at the workplaces. The Swage Model is used in occupational healthcare by labor unions and health and safety representatives, as well as by authorities as a basis for discussion and reflection on how to make working life sustainable for different professions and different ages. Every work environment inspector of the Swedish Work Environment Authority has received a web-based education and lectures on how to use the model in their inspection and informative work at workplaces and to employees in Sweden. The model is also part of a publication ordered by the European Work Environment Agency on how to create sustainable workplaces for men and women, which has been published in all European countries. The Swage Model is also part of the basis for the Swedish government's delegation for senior labour, led by Anna Hedborg. For those of you that have missed the Swage Model, here follows a description. Achieving a sustainable working life is complex. When beginning to examine a question or problem, it's like wearing a blindfold and feeling your way forward. You can go into deep detail in your study, just like the scientists in the picture. However, in order to understand how everything is connected, you need to take a step back, put all the pieces of the puzzle from different studies together in order to put together the complex bigger picture and how everything is connected. What measures are needed for different issues? Simply put, to be able to see the elephant in the room. The possibility of working is affected by various factors and on different levels. The possibility of working does not solely depend on the individual, but also on managers in organizations and enterprises that shape and create the conditions for employees in the workplace and the working environment through decisions and measures. These measures may, for example, be about leadership, formal and informal leaders, working hours, access to competence development, climate, organizational culture, and attitudes toward ages. But the framework for the individual's possibility of working is created on the societal level through society's decisions on laws, regulations, pension, and social security conditions. The laws and regulations of society also rules the organizations and managers' possibility of offering measures for their employees. This theoretical model, the Swage Model, that will be described in this lecture, visualizes the complexity regarding work conditions and is thought to work as a tool in the quest of creating healthy and sustainable workplaces. The aim of the Swage Model is to increase knowledge and understanding by visualizing measures and individuals' needs that can be used to create a sustainable working life for all ages on different levels in society. The model is supposed to be a tool to meet new and changed demand put on individuals, on organizations and enterprises, and on our society, when many elderly employees stay in working life until an older age. Predictors for a sustainable working life. The predictors for a sustainable working life are associated to different levels. These levels interact and affect each other. Actions and measures to make working life sustainable need to take place at different levels. These different levels are macro level, which is the societal level, where laws and regulations are created, as well as social welfare systems, such as the pension system and social insurance systems, that affects how we work and how work is organized in the workplace. The second level, meso level, is the organizational and enterprise level, in other words, the workplace. This is where the manager decides how the workplace is designed and organized, and which measures and actions can be taken to make working life sustainable. However, one of the manager's main tasks is ensuring the finances are sound in the organization or company, so that there's a profit, or at least that it breaks even. Therefore, the organization or company will need financial incentives to keep their employees until an older age, when knowledge, competence, physical and mental ability are valued in relation to productivity. The third level, micro level, is the individual level. As previously stated, we are each other's working environment, and we together are society and each other's co-workers. Therefore, we affect the organizational and enterprise level. But what makes individuals like you and me able to and want to participate in working life? What makes us prioritize to keep working in an extended working life, or to consider leaving working life and retire when we are elderly employees? We will return to the individual level later on. For a large part of our lives, we are part of the workforce, and individuals spend a lot of their time at work. Therefore, age is a part of the Swage model, because we all age during our time in the workforce. When trying to make working life sustainable for all ages, we cannot disregard age. We need to include age and how age can be defined in different ways. That is why these 4 different ages are part of the Swage model: chronological age, biological age, social age, and mental age. We will examine the age concept and different ways of defining age in another lecture. There are 9 different areas of predictors that affect whether an individual is able to and wants to participate in working life. These are of great importance to a sustainable working life for all ages. These areas are health, diagnosis, illness, and function variations. It is the physical working environment with physical workload, climate, tear, and accidents. It is the mental working environment with stress, control and demand, threats, and violence. It is the working hours, the work pace, and recuperation. It is the personal finances, being able to afford food, living, travel, etc. It is the personal social environment with family, partner, close friends, and leisure activities. It is the work social environment with leaderships, attitudes within the organization, discrimination, social inclusion, and social support in work. It is the execution of work tasks, whether these are stimulating, if there is room for self-fulfillment and different activities in work. Furthermore, it is the competence, skills and knowledge, possibilities for competence development. These 9 different areas can be grouped into 4 different spheres of measures. These are work environment health effects, personal finances, support and social inclusion, and the execution of work tasks. We will examine the 9 areas of predictors divided into the 4 spheres of measures further on in the course. Health effects of the working environment does not only regard the individual and the individual level, it also regards the organizational and enterprise level through measures to promote a sound and healthy working environment and sufficient time for recuperation. Furthermore, it relates to the societal level through supportive measures for a health-promoting working environment, as well as primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention on a societal level. Personal finances do not only regard the individual level. Measures need to be taken to promote financial security on the organizational and enterprise level in order to maintain employees' employability. Furthermore, measures are needed to promote financial security through financial incentives, through the social security system, the pension system, etc., and therefore on the societal level. Social support and inclusion does not only regard the individual and the individual level. Measures are needed for social support, inclusion, and participation on the organizational and enterprise level in order to make employees feel that they are a part of an important team and that they are a part of working life and the workplace. However, measures are also needed on a societal level in order to promote supportive and a secure social environment, to eliminate discrimination and disregard, and to make sure that everyone receives sufficient social support. Furthermore, in the execution of work tasks, the actual work, employees need support from the enterprise level through measures that increase the motivation and sense of stimulation in work, receiving the right competence and opportunity to use competence and skills in their work. Society needs to promote a healthy culture of knowledge, creativity, and development, allowing possibilities for development and further education, as well as the use of creativity through the individual's entire life. Working life is complex. Many factors contribute to making working life sustainable for all ages. However, it is far from impossible to make working life sustainable for all ages. In the Swage Model, the different factors that influence working life are collected, and many managers have printed it out and put it on their wall to remind themselves of reflecting of the different parts and to utilize these in their leadership and management. The Swage Model is an explanatory model regarding predictors and measures in working environment and working life. It includes the details, the knowledge that has been accumulated during many years of scientific research regarding working environment and measures at different levels and how these relate to aging. The Swage Model is useful as a basis for risk assessment and improvement possibilities in the practical work. In order to make working life sustainable for all ages, since the measures are sorted into areas of needs. In other words, it's a well-organized toolbox in order to easily find the right measure for an issue. Tools and methods of operation to make the workplace sustainable for all ages. This could, for example, be to use the Swage Model and systematic work environment management, together with available research and knowledge, as well as regulations and guidelines from work environment authorities. Interoperability and routines to examine working conditions based on predictors for a sustainable working life for all ages. To determine risks based on the predictors. Develop an action plan, timetable, and share of responsibilities for measures. To adopt measures and to follow up and verify the impact of the measures. it is important that we weigh in the age perspective in the systematic work environment management, because we know that younger and elderly employees run a greater risk of being subjected to occupational injury. Employees aged 55 years and above constitute a large proportion of occupational injuries with deadly outcome, since hearing and eyesight, as well as response capacity and muscle strength, generally deteriorates with age. Therefore, this must be taken into account when determining risks in the workplace. If you have not done it already, please take the time to print this picture of the Swage model and put it on the wall of your workplace or another easily accessible place in order to reflect on it in your work and in your leadership.